What's up, y'all? Hey, we back. It's Pound for Pound ATL. Me, Toby D, and JR Clark, man.
What's up, brother?
Hey, man, it's time to keep talking about some draft cover. We ain't in the Super Bowl.
No. I mean, we got the big game coming up this weekend, and once it's done, we can finally call this season done, like officially. But for us and for the Falcons, it's we squarely in draft season now for sure.
Yeah, we're in it, man. Before we keep going though, we got to talk about what happened on Sunday.
Yeah, that was the crash heard around the world.
Yeah.
I was at a bowling alley with my family, and my brother showed me, that text, and I was like, "What?" I said, "You got to be kidding me!" And for y'all, pretty much figured out we're talking about Kobe Bryant and the untimely passing of him and his daughter. Holy crap, that hits hard, and everybody else that was on that helicopter.
That was a shocker when I heard not only him, but his daughter was on the same helicopter.
Man,
I didn't want to believe it when I saw TMZ tweeting it out there. Somehow they got heads up about it first before anyone, and a lot of us thought it was fake because of them.
Exactly.
But you saw the more news sources coming out and talking about it, and you just knew it was real, man. And I tell you, man, I was like just thrown for a loop.
Oh, it was rough. It put a pretty bad damper on the day in a sense. And I'm not even a huge basketball fan, but that Kobe, he affected a lot of, his reach went around. Like even friends of mine who don't pay attention to sports at all, knew who Kobe Bryant was. So that's. Yeah.
Well, I loved Kobe Bryant since the day he came in.
Mm-hmm.
He always had that energetic fire. I remember the slam dunk contest that he was involved in when he first came into the league, man.
Right.
And he just lit the world on fire right from that start.
And just kept it going.
It's unfortunate to hear that he's gone at 41 years old, man. Still
tough.
young, man.
That's tough.
Won't even be able to do his own speech.
Yeah.
At Hall of Fame.
Yep.
That's hurtful. But I mean, you just never know when it's your time.
It's your time. When the good Lord wants you home.
Yeah.
It's time to go.
There's nothing you can do about it. But we got to talk about this other thing before we get started too. Kyle Shanahan, yes, he's in the Super Bowl, guys. I mean, a lot of us that probably did not want him to go.
He's there.
He's there whether we like it or not.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've seen a lot of, especially on social medias, I've seen a lot of people giving him too much credit for our Super Bowl run, blaming too much of it on our Super Bowl run. It seems like the further away we get from our Super Bowl, the more like shine is on Shanahan.
Yeah.
I seem to remember when he left, everybody was good riddance kind of thing because of the play calling. So it's just interesting to see what I consider to be like revisionist history when it comes to Kyle Shanahan. But, you get to deal with it for another few days. And
Yeah. I mean, I'm at a point right now where, of course, you guys know, and I'm sure many of you are going for the Chiefs just as I am. Not just because I want them to beat Kyle Shanahan, because I'm a little still upset about what happened that transpired in that Super Bowl, but I want Andy Reid to finally get over the hump and get one.
Get him one. I really like Andy Reid as a coach. I've always liked Andy Reid as a coach. I think he's, an offensive guru, and he seems like he's just a real good guy as well. You know? So I would like to see him get one for sure,
So, you guys, as you very well know, JR did put out that he was going to start doing some film breakdowns of some of these draft prospects, and he did one last week.
Yep.
If you guys, let us know how you feel about that, those who have watched it.
Yeah, be nice now. That was my first one. I'll get better with time, but started out with AJ Epinasa because he seems like at least every mock I look at and every time I do one of those mock draft simulators myself, he seems to be a name that is always there, when the Falcons are picking at 16. So I figured he'd be a good person to start with, and so y'all can definitely check it out. It's on the channel, but I'll tell you this: I wasn't like super impressed with what I saw.
Yeah.
I mean, he seems like a solid guy. I wouldn't be upset if that's who we picked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I feel you.
But I feel like if you were gonna, a lot of people I've seen on social media saying like, basically saying, oh, well, he could replace, Adrian Claiborne. Well, if you're going to pick this guy in the first round to replace Adrian Claiborne, I would hope that you would get more out of him than what you got out of Claiborne.
Yeah, most definitely. What I'm saying?
Because I feel like with what you got out of Claiborne these past couple of years, I really feel like that's why you drafted Kaminsky.
Yeah.
And so to draft a guy in the first round that can do a lot of the same things, I don't know. I would think that would just be a misuse of a first-round pick, in my opinion.
I mean, I would not be too high on it, but it is the Atlanta Falcons, and I mean, guys, we hit and miss probably more than a lot of teams do. Of course, to me, in my opinion, the Browns have hit a lot, but they still don't have a coach that they've hit on.
No, they ain't got a coach that they've hit on.
Or a solid GM.
Right, and so it will be interesting to see if all that hype for Minnesota's OC, Kevin, really long last name that I can't pronounce.
Stefanski, I think that's what it is.
Stefanski. There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it'd be interesting to see if all the hype is going to be worth it.
Yeah.
And for his sake and Brown fans' sake, I hope they give him more than 2 years or a year.
Well, and like we shall see. But I mean, that place has become the coach, GM, and QB killer.
Oh yeah. So,
you go there, you're about destined to not be a coach, GM, or a quarterback for long.
Right. No, yeah, you definitely ain't. So we'll be interested to see how that transpires. This upcoming week on the docket for the film breakdown, I have a lot of people wanted to see Javon Kinlaw.
Woohoo!
So that's who I will be focusing on. It should be out, probably Monday or Tuesday next week. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And I'll say just kind of like a preview type deal. I'm much more high on Kinlaw than I was on AJ Empanaza after watching film. So
yeah,
I'll hopefully this one will turn out just as good. So let's go ahead and hit up some comments. Y'all are moving pretty quick in the chat here, so I'm gonna skip back up top. Charleston Nash says, "What's up? What's up, Charleston?
What's up, Charles?
Appreciate you. Same with you, Anthony Wright. Good evening." Kojak says, "Rise the F up." Then we got the typical Kobe RIP for sure for Speed Falcon. Hey, Mr. CDXX for life is in Wisconsin. That's cool.
What's up?
Got a Falcon fan in Wisconsin.
That's awesome. What I'm talking about.
There you go. See, Kojak says, "What's up?" Charleston Nash says, "I'm on that Kinlaw train for real." Yeah, I am too. I'm wondering if his stock is gonna get too far out of reach for us.
It just might,
because it's already starting to really climb there. So
yeah.
Let's see. So somebody's over here talking about LOL. We never get people we mock draft. Yeah, true. No, you're right about that. We don't. Those people that we mock, like I had never in a million years thought that we were going to draft Keanu Neal.
No,
and nobody else did either.
He snuck in there. But like the Falcons say, they like to draft. They don't draft based on just by everyone else's, big board and how high a guy's going up. It depends on how valuable he is to their scheme. And
exactly.
Keanu Neal was a guy that they had valued in their defense. That was the Cam Chancellor of the Falcons defense at that time.
So let's see. We got another RIP Kobe from Eddie Kane Jr. Philip Bonner says, "What's up, guys? Rise up. It's good to see y'all. Appreciate you being here, Philip." Mr. CDX talking about lost book bag face. I'm guessing he's talking about
Kyle Shanahan
on that one. Kojak says he complimented me on my breakdown. Well, good. I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. Like I said, I'll put out another one next week, and we'll Got a couple comments there about that. Anthony Wright says the Senior Bowl was played, and there were a few players that I watched that the Falcons should look at. We're going to get into that here in just a minute, as y'all can tell by the title and the picture. That Senior Bowl did have some players that we need to talk about for sure.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
Richardson says we're going to get a steal with the 16th pick. Yeah, I mean, Dimitroff made some interesting comments talking about the 16th pick for now.
Okay, I want to talk about that.
Okay, all right. What's up?
I don't, number one, buy into the hype because he always says this. This is GM speak every year. Every year you catch Thomas Dimitroff at a Senior Bowl or
the combine,
he's going to say that we're always open.
That's it, always open for business.
To move around in the draft. So I'm not buying any of that. Show me is what I want to see. You've been graced with your job back.
Yeah, true. So
you and Dan Quinn got to knock this thing out the park, man, and get us some guys in here.
What I hope they don't do, and this is going to sound like maybe a little crazy, I hope they don't like sell the farm thinking that we're one piece away.
I don't think they're going to do that.
You know what I'm saying?
I just don't. I don't sense it, and I don't think you need to do that in this draft. I think you're going to find some great contributors in this draft to help us get over the hump. To me, this could turn out, with the exclusion of taking a quarterback because you took Matt Ryan in 2008, right, to be a semblance of that 2008 draft. Now, we had a great draft in 2016, which helped us get over the hump with,
very much
to getting to the Super Bowl. We need another draft like that, and there are definitely some players that we're going to talk about that I believe the Falcons could be looking at potentially drafting, or maybe it's just me that can help us.
Yeah, I think so. There are a good number of players. Anthony Wright says a couple of people actually want like Adrian Claiborne to come back, which, it's all come down to price, really.
Yeah.
Right now, because we cap space is at a premium at this moment. Obviously there's still moves that are going to need to be made, whether it's cutting players, restructuring players, things like that. But you got some pieces that you need to sign. You got some pieces that you should sign. And then, you got question marks, such as are you letting number 44 walk out the door? Yeah.
Which I want to get into talking about him soon.
We're going to do that here in a minute. Yeah. So, this I like I said, I wouldn't mind Adrian Claiborne coming back, but if the money don't work out, I'm not going to be upset by it because I don't think he provided a ton this past season.
Yeah.
Other than you brought him back, and now he, like the positive influence he had on Vic Beasley.
Yeah.
So,
well, what I do like to hear is what we've heard word of is that Thomas Dimitroff has hinted out that talks between Austin Hooper and his agent are a positive one as of right now.
Right. I mean, I know everybody wants to latch onto and talk about the fact that the Falcons haven't offered Hooper anything yet. But it's still early in the process. They don't have to offer him anything right now.
Well, talks don't start ramping up until you get to the combine anyway.
Right. I mean, because technically the start of the new season isn't until March.
Right.
So you have a whole month to really get this stuff figured out before. Yeah. For him to come out and say, oh, well, they ain't made no offers yet, and everybody kind of freaking out. I mean, that is what that is. That's just part of the process.
Yeah, most definitely.
It wouldn't surprise me one bit, really, if they did kind of like what they did with Grady last year. Hit him with a franchise and then, continue to work on the negotiations, using the franchise to buy some more time. So we'll see how that goes as we, get further into the offseason for sure. But, for the people who were, making comments about, oh, why haven't we offered him anything yet? That's just part of it right there.
It's not something, like you said, that we have to do right now or need to do. You just laying out the parameters, getting a feel for both sides,
right,
and where both sides see themselves continuing with their futures together.
Exactly. So, I mean, I hope that we can keep him, but I'm not. I don't know. I'm not going to be super heartbroken if we don't. I mean, I'm going to be bummed out just because of all the time and investment that has been put in it.
Yeah.
Between, the relationship between him and Ryan. But, if the money don't work, it just don't work.
That's part of it. Yeah, you can't force it to work, nor should you put your team in a hole
And
to make it work.
Right. And even if we do bring him back, I still see them potentially drafting another tight end because, you don't really have much behind him.
No.
You got Jaden Graham, but.
And I doubt Luke Stockton
Stalker
is coming back.
Right. I don't think
I don't see it.
I don't see why you would bring him back. I mean, he was just an inline blocker, really. Caught a pass or two here or there, but nothing major. Definitely not worth, much money sinking into him.
Yeah. So
let's see here. We're going to get back to some of the comments real quick. It says, TU Big says, how do you feel, fellas? How do you feel about Neal being a hybrid linebacker? Campbell moving to DM or defensive end, rather. I wouldn't mind. First, we got to see if Campbell's coming back.
You know what? I think he is.
It'd be interesting to see. But, yeah, I mean, if what you used and what you got out of Vic Beasley, I easily think that you could get that same kind of production out of Devondre Campbell.
And I think you will have a guy that I'm very high on as of right now. Somebody pointed him out like two weeks ago.
Right.
But it never did really strike me until I saw that Senior Bowl. We were going to get into it.
Right.
But I believe that Campbell is high on the Falcons list of bringing back, and I think they will if the price is right. I don't see him pricing himself out of the Falcons range. I think they will work something out. I think Campbell has shown from last season that he finally was being used in a way that was beneficial for him.
Right. No, I agree. They actually used him more of as a rush linebacker.
Yeah.
And I think that's where his hybrid type skills come into play because he is definitely somewhere between a linebacker and a defensive end. So using him in that Leo type role that they used from time to time last year, I think would benefit him well. I believe if he went to another team, that's what they would would deploy him as.
Yeah.
And get a good bit out of him. Let's see. Here we go. Back up to the top. Speed Falcon for Life says, let's make a spicy move in free agency because we haven't gotten a game changer in a while. That all comes down to money. Easily, point blank, you've got a lot of good players, so you haven't had to make a big splash in free agency. So it'd be interesting to see. Anthony Wright says, you're right, fellas. We didn't draft a defensive tackle Vita Vea in 2017 or Taven Bryan in 2018 as they were both mocked to us. True. We didn't draft either one of those guys. And I would love to have had at least one of them to pair next to Grady Jarrett. So Stoneman 1916 said, I feel we should not trade. DQ and TD can replicate the 2016 draft with all these picks. That was the point that you were making, as far as I would like to see them use all the picks that we have for sure. And so Anthony Wright says, we do play the same teams in the AFC that we played in 2016, Denver and Las Vegas and Atlanta. We got KC and LA Chargers in the new stadium. That'd be interesting to see KC and see how we do against them.
Yeah.
Let's see. B Strong says, how about a tag and trade for Austin Hooper for a game-wrecking defensive player? I mean, yeah, I'm not against it. If you could get somebody like if you don't, but then again, the money, it's still about the money, right? But if we take the money out of it, right? Say we take the money out of it. If you were to tag Hooper and then trade him for, somebody like a D Ford or Frank Clark that happened, last year, that could be real interesting. Let's see. Fred Butt says Vic is coming back the way TD was talking about how he impressed. He did say that they were impressed, and he impressed some people there at the end of the season.
At the end.
Right.
But it did not sound as though he was as enthused by the efforts, is what I'm saying. He did mention about Vic Beasley, but he didn't sound like they were willing to break the bank for Vic Beasley. No. It would hurt to lose Vic Beasley, but I believe that there are some players in this draft that could be able to fit in the role that they were using him in.
Right, and the guy that you were alluding to earlier, Bradlee Anae,
yes, sir.
Edge rusher, defensive end from Utah, is a must-watch. Definitely would like to know what the Falcons family thinks about this guy and a film breakdown on him. I plan on doing a film breakdown on him. He really jumped into my view at the Senior Bowl for sure.
Yeah.
But I already had stuff set up for Kinlaw, so I plan on doing him next after Kinlaw. But yeah, no, that's a guy, especially after his Senior Bowl performance. That is a guy I am definitely looking forward to diving into. Is the kid out of Utah, the Bradlee Anae. Very active with his hands. I saw a myriad of different pass rush moves.
Yeah,
even in the Senior Bowl. Now, granted, those tackles were getting worked all day.
Oh yeah, they were getting worked.
You know, and even Daniel Jeremiah, who I like Daniel Jeremiah and Charles Davis, their opinions I find I love listening to those guys talk about players. But he even made mention of the Oregon tackle that he was like, on the next level, that guy will be a guard.
Yeah.
Like he said, it was almost unfair that he was being put out as a tackle. But, I mean, you got to give it to Anae, though, that he saw the opportunity to exploit, and he took it.
He sure did. He
He showed you that killer instinct. Even if those guys weren't up to par and weren't able to stop him, he showed you that he was what he was willing to do and what was in his toolbox already, which was good to see.
So, I mean, let's talk about it for a minute, because since
on.
you and I haven't been together, we've seen 3 bowl games go through.
Correct.
The first one was the East-West Shrine game.
Yep.
Then you had the Collegiate Bowl game, which was the same day as the East-West Shrine game.
Yeah, see, I didn't get a chance to catch that one, so I'm
you got to
glad
catch that one. And then you had the Senior Bowl, which was recently this weekend.
Right.
Guys, there are some players,
dude,
right now that even if they don't get drafted, that I'm hoping the Falcons can sway to come over here. And one of my guys that not a lot of people are talking about, that I actually found out about from a Philadelphia Eagle fan who was streaming an audio version of the East-West Shrine game. A guy out of San Diego State, the same college that DeMonte KZ came from.
Okay.
Made a lot of plays, had a lot of interceptions there. Luck Barku.
Okay.
6'1", about 175, 180. So he has all the things that Dan Quinn would covet for a cornerback. An aggressive guy. Now, sometimes that aggression can get the best of him. But this dude, I think, against, I want to say Colorado State had like 3 interceptions in that game, man. And I mean, this guy, the way he plays the game, he seems like he studies the game.
Okay. Well, that'd be somebody that I'll have to dig into, because I can almost guarantee you in the first 3 rounds of this draft, we're taking a cornerback.
Yeah.
Because right now, the way I feel, he's either going to be a cap casualty or major restructure. I wouldn't be surprised one bit if Trufont's not back.
And it's possible.
Because, I mean, the defensive backs played well and held up well in his absence.
Which they did during the Super Bowl year too.
Right.
But okay.
Right. But that's what I'm talking about. You know,
Yeah.
As much as I like Desmond Trufant, and I like him a lot, when your presence is not felt, and I know he had 4 interceptions this year, led the team in interceptions, I think. But when you're gone and it's not noticeable, that's not good.
No, it's not good at all.
So it is what it is there. So I really feel like in the first 3 rounds you're going to be taking a cornerback for sure.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. Watching all 3 of those bowl games, what really stood out to me, there's a lot of running backs in this class.
Oh, dude, there's a ton.
I mean,
between J.K. Dobbins,
I
think Zach Moss is another
Joshua
guy.
Kelly from UCLA.
He looked good in the Senior Bowl. So I wouldn't.
LaMichael P. Ryan had some great tough runs in that Senior Bowl.
He did.
From Florida
now,
Gators.
does anybody know, is he related to Samaje P. Ryan?
I don't know.
I kept waiting to see if somebody was going to bring that up.
Yeah.
I hadn't looked. I mean, I guess I could have Googled it or whatever, but I didn't. But I was like, just that last name, P. Ryan, it's not like I've heard that a lot.
Right.
It's not like Smith running around or something.
Right, but it has been heard, and that could be a possibility.
I was curious if anybody knew that or not. But crap, I lost my train of thought there. But no, I think like it wouldn't surprise me one bit if they drafted another running back towards like the fourth, fifth round. Fifth round, especially if they're going to move on from Devontae Freeman or Ito Smith. You know, if they going to move on to one.
Or if Brian Hill could possibly not be coming back.
True. Maybe Brian Hill. Isn't he a restricted free agent, though?
I can't. You know, things like that I'm not too good at keeping up with.
I got you.
Like tendered players and restricted free agents and all of that stuff. That's not my area of expertise.
Right. Something tells me that he's a restricted free agent, but I could be wrong on that as well. But so let's grab some more. Anthony Wright says, an interesting tweet from free agent outside linebacker Devontae Campbell. Now, mind you, his agent is Drew Rosenhaus. Campbell feels he's worth between $8 and $10 million a year. I don't know about that.
He's not getting that kind of money, but you have to start high.
Yeah, you got to,
work from there.
Ghost Pepper says, Kyle Shanahan going to the Super Bowl doesn't bother me one bit, especially since our Falcons had an opportunity to prevent the 49ers from going if we took care of business early on in the season. That's true. Right. I mean, I can't hate on the fact that he's there.
And it's not all Kyle Shanahan's fault. No. I mean, Dan has to shoulder some of that responsibility as well because he allowed the play calling to go
commence.
on. So, I mean,
right.
But.
So, Stoneman says, why weren't we playing Foye more for Campbell? I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean. Foye is a good tackler, but he's also had some more mental lapses this past year. He wasn't as sharp as he has been. But when Raheem Morris took over, you saw a lot more Foye playing. So
I do think that this is a year that we need to strengthen that linebacker core.
I think so.
There are some guys in here that we could possibly use that could contribute to the Atlanta Falcons.
Like if for some odd reason that Isaiah Simmons from Clemson, if he were sitting there around 16, I don't think he will be. But if he
will be, though.
If he was there, I would not be upset one bit if we took him.
No, I feel you. I mean, there has been word that Tommy Dimitroff did say that he's comfortable with the inside defensive tackles. So I don't know if that means, Alan Bailey's coming back to play another season. Tyler Davidson. They may not even look at Javon Kinlaw.
They may not.
Because they may feel they won't have to. Now, there is a guy that I feel like could contribute from that Collegiate Bowl. Now, he didn't show much, just like one of the former scouts was saying on film anywhere else for some reason. But, man, that Collegiate Bowl, Tier Tart. Yeah.
Okay.
He was wreaking havoc in that Collegiate. Y'all got to watch that Collegiate Bowl because there was a couple of guys in there.
I had to go back and watch that.
Tier Tart was getting it.
Okay, all right.
And he kind of remind me of someone who could contribute like Vance Walker did when we took him in the 7th round.
Okay. So you're thinking like towards the back end of the draft on that one. I got you. All right. Let's see. B Strong says, do you think Wes Schweitzer will be Alex Mack's replacement when he retires? I don't know. I mean, if they don't draft a center this year and they continue to try to develop Schweitzer as a backup center, I could see him taking over there.
Wes is going to be a free agent, though, isn't he?
Is he? Shoot, he might be.
I think so.
Ooh, that might make it interesting right there. Let's see. Anthony Wright says, yes, we have to re-sign Bleedy Ray Wilson and trade Trufant to possibly Seattle. Yeah, well, I mean, if they take him, I'd take some draft picks for him. So, Fred Buzz says, don't be surprised if we draft a running back at 16. I will be surprised if we draft. I'm sorry, Fred. I will be floored.
The only guy I can see us doing that with, and I don't even know if he's going at the middle round. I think he will be a first rounder. Is DeAndre Swift?
No, I don't.
I just don't see that, and nor do I think you have to do that with the running back class that we're seeing in all 3 of those bowl games, guys. It's running backs for days.
Oh yeah, it's running back central.
I hadn't even begun to name any of those guys that were in all of those bowl games.
Yeah, no doubt on that. Marty Young says the XFL will have a big effect on the draft. I'll be interested to see that. I think they kick off next month or in a few weeks, the XFL. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see if that has any kind of effect. Let's see. Charleston Nash says Brian Hill is a restricted free agent, and the Falcons can put a second-round tender or a tender of the round he was drafted. Okay. So I don't see him putting a second-round tender on Brian Hill.
Well, he was a 5th-round pick.
So, I mean, I could see him maybe putting a 5th round on him because second round also comes with a pretty high price tag, if I'm not mistaken. Not as high as a first round, obviously, but it still comes with a pretty hefty price tag. Speed Falcon for Life says Raheem Morris will be a head coach if our defense is top 5. That's possible, but if that's the case, you're still in the midst of training Ulbrich, so you could possibly just promote him.
Yeah,
but
I think that would be the goal if Dan Quinn has a successful 2020 campaign.
Yeah, I would hope that if the defense does well, that Raheem Morris would get some looks.
Yeah,
because it definitely turned around when they moved him back to that side of the ball.
Oh yeah, but I mean, Jeff Ulbrich deserves some credit.
He does
there as well because he helped on those third down packages. I think you have to keep the formula that you have because that gives you 2 guys now that offensive coordinators have to prepare for from a tendency standpoint.
Exactly.
They have a lot more to break down with those 2 guys, the way that they worked so well together.
Yes, it was very seamless in the way that they were able to manipulate that back half of the season. I was very impressed with that. Let's see. Richardson says, I can't wait to see what we do in free agency. I'm expecting us to make some big moves. Free agency is going to be interesting. It really is. I think it's going to be interesting on our side of it. What names do we not bring back? I think that's going to be the part that has more people floored than anything else.
Dan Quinn has been playing around with a little bit of the philosophies of Mike Smith. Like we talked about this, how he's talking about possibly bringing in another team during training camp for the Falcons to practice against.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure they're going to follow the philosophy of bringing in a splash player. Dan Quinn has said time and time again, when they go in free agency, they look for players to complement the draft picks that they have.
Exactly. Yes. Charleston Nash says, what do you see from Kendall Sheffield? Can you see him getting more snaps next year? What do you like about him? I definitely like Kendall Sheffield is part of the reason why I think that if they decide to move on for Trufant, it's going to be because of guys like Sheffield. That's what I was talking about earlier when I said that you didn't really feel the loss of Trufant there at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And it's because of guys like Sheffield, and it's because of guys like Isaiah Oliver, stabilizing on his side. But I'm excited about Sheffield. I think that he showed some good promise, especially there when he was starting to get some more reps at the end of the season.
Yeah. I think Sheffield is going to be he's going to improve.
Yeah.
Just like Isaiah. I mean, you went out and you brought in a new secondary coach.
Yeah.
So, and I think that coach, he's been known for being able to develop players. And I think that could be an indication that Trufant might be gone.
Yeah.
Because of what you went out and made a splash move and doing. And I can't think of the secondary coach right now because my mind is brain farting. So, if you guys know and can help me with the name of the coach that we hired, let me know.
Right. I would appreciate that for sure. Sorry about that interruption. But with that being said, if you could help with the name of the coach that we brought in, it was the dude from the Browns.
From the Browns.
That everybody was excited about.
But his name is drawing a blank to me.
Man,
right
I could see his face. But anyway, so it is, more of the boy, man. That messed me up. We had a coworker just poke their head in my office, just really messed up my whole train of thought. Let me get back on track here. But as far as like letting, if Trufant ends up moving on, and somebody else just said Charleston Nash also brought up Keanu O'Neal could be a surprise cut. And that's another example there of somebody who could, you could free up what is it, about $14 million.
Yeah.
If you were to cut him and rescind that
Fifth-year option.
fifth-year option, you know, so it's that's going to be interesting, man. They have got some tough decisions to make because a lot of your players, even though we had 2 down seasons, you've got a lot of talented players.
Yeah,
and so you're going to have to make some tough decisions, which is what you do when you draft good players.
I mean, it's just like what Seattle had to do.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't keep everybody. No. Unfortunately, you got to let some people go. You just hope that you can retool what you're allowing to walk out the door.
Yeah, and like I said, I expect to see some restructures, whether it be from a possible another restructure of Matt Ryan, a possible restructure of even guys like, I know Grady restructured a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised if you saw like a Julio Jones restructure. They've got to do something to get creative on opening up some cap space for sure.
You heard Thomas Dimitroff mention about being creative, that we're not in cap hell.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think any GM's going to stand up there and go, you know what, fellas, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, we're screwed.
Yeah.
so definitely not going to say that.
They made a little bit of move, with earning $12 million in cap space, but that's not nearly enough to keep Hooper and Campbell.
No,
and Vic Beasley.
No, you're gonna have to let some folks walk.
Yeah.
And I think Beasley walks. I think it could very well easily be Keanu Neal getting his 5th year rescinded, because I mean you saw the combination of Ricardo Allen and DeMonte Casey.
Yeah, I mean,
even with, we're over here talking about, can Neal play linebacker? Because none of us want to really break up that combination of KZ and Ricardo Allen. We want to keep both of them on the field.
Yeah.
And so I think having Ricardo Allen closer to the line of scrimmage works better for everybody, in my opinion.
He's had more success there.
Right.
Leaving DeMonte Casey to be the guy who roams around and make plays on the back end is more comfortable for him.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's see here. The Anthony Wright says the Falcons stated that they would like to keep Sheffield on the inside as our nickel corner. Then that's, if they stated that, I don't remember that, but man, my memory's not all that great to begin with. Then, like I said, he played well there, and I would be happy to see him continue to grow. Eddie Santafield says, do you think Gano will get a shot at left guard next season? I hope so. When he was in there, he played well. So I would love to see him get a shot. I don't necessarily think you need to, draft a guard early.
Yeah.
Maybe 3rd round at the earliest. But, yeah, you're going to have to do something. Those are some other names that'll be interesting to watch.
Here's my thought on the offensive line. You can't be backtracking. You made some moves. You got Jamon Brown, James Carpenter. You're going to have to see another year on what these guys can do, because you can't keep trying to revamp. There's other moves that you're going to have to make.
And you may just have to hope that these guys start gelling better.
And that's what I'm saying.
And
you're going to have to give this another opportunity to see what these guys can do.
I think you're right. As much as it may pain me to say that, I think you're right. Jew Talk Sports says, "What's up, fellas? What's up, Jew?
What's up?"
Yeah, Kojak says, "Coworkers ? Office ? Yeah, look now, y'all know. Me and Toby, we both have jobs. We both have 9 to 5s, 8 to 6s, whatever. We both, as much as we love doing this, just don't pay the bills. So
you got to start somewhere.
My office is nice enough to let us use the space after hours to do the show in, and we very much appreciate that. I just happen to have a coworker stop by and poke their head in for a second.
Which normally does not happen, guys. So it just happened to be tonight.
Yeah. Let's see. R2K says Stoneman back-to-back injuries, though. Who wants to go through that again? I'm assuming he's talking about Neal. I am Jamil. Said Toby, what's good? Toby,
what's up?
Let's see. Richard says, by the way, I truly appreciate what guys do for Falcons / fan fan community. I'm from Brooklyn, representing the ATL. Oh, well, good. I'm
That's
glad.
what I'm talking about. Hey,
Yeah.
man, y'all keep letting us know where you're repping from, man. That's always exciting.
Yeah, it's interesting to see like how far it goes, so to speak.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anthony Wright says, I think Keanu Neal will be back stronger than ever, guys. Look at the Richard Sherman, Ricardo Allen. Both of them have come back. Oh, no, I'm not saying that he can't bounce back. And I'm not even saying that I wouldn't want him back. I definitely would want Keanu Neal back. I'm just, thinking, like, where are you going to get this cap money from?
Yeah.
That was my only point there. And there are going to be some surprises. There's going to be something that makes you scratch your head and go, really? They did that? And there's going to be some names. I don't know who, but, I just got that feeling. B Strong says, Austin Hooper will be a Falcon for life / Arthur Blank. He better not, man. Better not say that stuff. Always be messing up the negotiation table when you're like, it's going to be a Falcon for life. Fred Buck got us covered. He said Joe Witt Jr.
Joe Witt.
That's the secondary.
Thank you, Fred. But
Appreciate that,
my
Fred.
mind right now was drawing a blank.
Right?
Joe Witt Jr. Could be a reason why we may not have
True Font back.
At all.
And then let's see. Speed Falcon for Life said we should also get rid of Freeman and let Brian Hill start or draft a running back and Quindre Olsen in short yardage. Look, I ain't going to have – if they move on from Freeman, as much as I absolutely like Freeman, I'm not going to be upset. I'm just not.
My whole thing is right now, I just don't know what the Falcons' offensive identity is because we clearly did not have one.
No, I mean, and
in 2019,
it's going to be more. It's going to be on Cutter. I mean, I hate to say it. I'm not. I was trying to go all episode or all show without bringing Dirk Cutter back up because I feel like we've been harping on it a lot these last couple of weeks. But it's all going to be on what he does.
But that's going to depend on how you're going to shape this running back class based on what he really wants. I mean, Ito Smith could end up being a starter.
Exactly. I could easily see them rolling with Ito Smith, Brian Hill, and Quindre Olsen and leaving it at that.
Yeah, and they could.
So it'd be interesting to see. Fitty Mills says, I think the Falcons should bring in an established veteran defensive end, just like Dwight Freeney came in and helped Vic get 15 sacks. Bring in a veteran to teach tack and future rookie. I agree, but man, come on, ain't that what Dan Quinn's supposed to be doing? I mean, ain't he supposed to be defensive line guru?
If I can have my guy of choice, it's the one who terrorized Matt Ryan both times. It's Shaq Barrett.
Yeah. I would love
from Tampa Bay,
but he's gonna get a check.
Oh yeah, he's going to get a super check.
Yeah, he's gonna get a check, and I don't think we're gonna be able to write that check.
No, I don't think we're even gonna want to. Like I said, there are some contributors in this draft, and talk about Bradlee.
Oh, Bradlee Anae
for a minute.
Yeah, I think as it stands right now, I can see Bradlee Anae being either a very late first round or second round pick. I could see us possibly having to use our other second round pick to move up in the second round, or both picks to move back up into the first. But Bradlee Anae is a guy who I really feel like could play that speed rusher, because it really looks like what Dan Quinn wants is a power rusher and a speed rusher. So you can do those twists and stunts and things like that.
Yeah, you have to have that guy.
Because, when we drafted Tack McKinley, you had a chance of drafting T.J. Watt.
Yep.
But at the time, you had Vic Beasley. And it really seemed like he didn't want to have, the same type guys. You see what I'm saying? Like speed guys coming off the edges. It seemed like he wanted an edge setter and a speed guy. So Bradlee Anae, it's going to be really interesting to see what his, measurables are at the combine.
Yep. You're right.
And what, how he tests and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because if his measurables go off the charts, I could easily see him sneaking into the first round. This is not a very deep edge rushing class. Outside of Chase Young, you don't really have another premier kind of guy.
Yeah,
I think that's why,
don't see that.
As it has started, I think that's why you have AJ Epinaza being that second tier guy right now.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how Bradlee Anae, if he could start shooting up the draft boards or not.
Well, like you said, it's going to depend on the measurables and how well he tests in the combine. the interviews.
All
But
that stuff.
I just truly think that if Vic Beasley is going to walk and you're not going to bring him back, I think this is a guy that can very well fit in that role of spying the quarterback, dropping into coverage, rushing as a stand-up or hands in the dirt type of guy. I think he has more of an arsenal of moves and a stronger guy at the point of attack than Vic Beasley is.
Well, see, what I think what'll end up separating him from Beasley at the end of the day is going to be his work ethic.
Yes.
Because I don't think anybody who wants to try to pretend that coming out of college they knew Vic Beasley was going to be a bust, so to speak. You can't convince me of that.
Yeah.
He had production all through college, and it went up, and it was trending in the right way. He tested off the charts athletically, and everything else. It just what it seems like is it seemed like he lacked that killer instinct.
And this is one of the things that Anae has.
Yeah.
A killer instinct.
Right, because you didn't see him let up at all.
I mean, and this is consistent throughout all of his film that they have right now on YouTube.
Yeah.
His effort and motor is high all the time. Run game. He's willing to go and stop the run.
Yep.
This dude can rush the passer, has one of the fastest get-offs, which can be a hindrance and hurt him at times too because of that aggressiveness, getting off the
right. He can get
ball.
run by the quarterback too easy.
Yeah, and penalties too as well, offsides because of that, and you've seen it in some of his film.
Well, you saw it even in the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, in the Senior Bowl. Yep.
And that's the only thing that worries me about guys who like try to guess the snap count on a consistent basis. Because that was the thing about Shane Ray.
Yep.
If you remember, he came out in the same class as Beasley, but he was like his skill, so to speak, was snap count guessing.
But I tell you what, he definitely reminds me of a mini and Dominican Sue. The way he likes to just throw quarterbacks to the ground. I mean, now a couple of those hits could be called in the NFL if it's Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers,
and they may.
And Drew Brees. I can tell you that. But, I mean, he basically pushed Jalen Hurts that one time, even though he didn't sack him, and what caused an interception.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's see. I Am Jamal says, a part of me thinks Dirk Cutter was handicapped because of the offensive line play. And that's possible. I mean, when you did see the line give Matt Ryan some time, the offense at least moved. So, I mean, we'll see if the offensive line play improves, if Dirk Cutter's, mediocre abilities improve. I just feel like Cutter is just too mediocre for me.
And that once again comes down to the Falcons having an identity on offense.
Exactly.
Which you're going to have to see. I think that would allow the offensive line to play a lot better when they have an identity of who they are. They're not trying and throwing out all these plays, trying to find out who they are during the year.
Right.
They should know who they are in the second year. Dirk Cutter has a lot of film now on him calling the offense, him and Matt Ryan working together in the Kyle Shanahan offense, and I'm hoping to get some similar results that he's had with Kyle Shanahan his second year and Steve Sarkisian his second year.
Well, we'll hope to see. I hope to see improvement, and I think we will. Let's see. Ghost Pepper says our Falcons are ranked 30th in the league in sacks. With that being said, outside of Grady Jarrett, anybody should be replaceable on the defensive line. Yep.
100% I agree 100%.
100% agree with that.
Anybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Outside of Grady Jarrett, nobody on that defensive line is safe, in my opinion. If you feel like you can get an upgrade, by God, upgrade them.
Yeah. I mean, it's some guys that can contribute. I don't see them as starters. I am a little bit more interested in seeing how Kenny Willix looks. He had a pretty good Senior Bowl as well. The knock on him, a lot of people are saying, is he's not as athletic in his draft class. Twists and stunts may not be a thing of his nature either, but he looked like he was pretty fast getting off the ball to me in that Senior Bowl. He had a pretty nice Senior Bowl, and I'm definitely interested in digging a little bit more into Kenny Willix.
Okay. I'll have to definitely check him out as we go through this process. Fred Butt says, I want Cordray to be our starting running back. He's hard to bring down and has home run speed. I would like to give him a chance, obviously. You drafted him. You got, 4 years of cheap contract, so I've got no problem giving him a chance,
Pretty much.
Let's see. In games, when we get multiple sacks, we win, cut and dry, short and sweet. Pretty much. Hitting the quarterback is effective, like full on. Walter Mathis says, do you think the defense would be a lot stronger in the middle if we put Campbell in the middle to use his size and put Jones in the outside to use his speed? The only problem I have there is Jones is a great Mike linebacker.
Yes.
He's very as far as diagnosing plays and getting guys moving, and I think he needs to be in the middle. We
saw a lot of players in the Atlanta Falcons defensively come back to their old selves when Raheem Morris and Jeff Albrecht took over.
Yep.
The Deion Jones that we all love. Yep. Mr. Pick Six.
Got him. Got him one in Tampa.
And probably could have had a few more had not Dan Quinn taken over. Which, don't get me wrong, a lot of us thought Dan Quinn would be the answer to the defense. But I think the way that Dan Quinn took over this defense hurt the morale of a lot of the guys.
I think so.
With how it went down with Marquand Manuel.
I think that was I think that hurt quite a bit. Cody Paul says, exactly, Ghost, and that is proof of the emphasis should be in the upper rounds. No way am I giving one of our second-round picks to anybody, to anything or anybody. Yeah, I wouldn't. I would be more interested in keeping all of our picks myself.
Well, I am going to tell you this. It's going to. I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but it's going to be tempting.
Oh, yeah.
To not want to take a wide receiver in this draft. This wide receiver class,
this deep.
Especially in that Collegiate Bowl. You guys got to check out the Collegiate Bowl if you hadn't checked it out. They got a guy in there, man. He was killing it, Darryl Stewart. Okay. And they were comparing him to Mohamed Sanu, excluding his passing, of course. But you never know. He might can do that, too. I mean, he moved like Mohamed, could catch the ball well, and had a lot of confidence like Mohamed Sanu. In that game.
Yeah, no doubt. And if you're going to let Austin Hooper walk, you're going to have to replace that production. That's for sure. Let's see. Speed Falcons says, do you think our Falcons win the division and get the first round bye? If we do, what do we need to do? Draft and free agency and signing. Oh, okay. I mean, we're still that's always what I think. Like, at this time of year, I always think we're going to win the division and get a first round bye.
Okay, look, Dan Quinn, you have allowed the Saints to win the division three times under your watch in a row. It's time we stand up, and you got the Panthers rebuilding right now. They've admitted so. You gave a guy 7 years, $70 million plus incentives, depending on how well he rebuilds that team, and they do. You got Bruce Arians over here in Tampa Bay.
Trying to build his juggernaut.
Exactly. So
you got to.
You have to take advantage of this while you have the opportunity. The Saints are in a flux right now with Drew Brees possibly talking about maybe coming back or retiring, and they're going with maybe Taysom Hill.
Please go with Taysom Hill. Please go with Taysom Hill, Mr. Gadget player. Please make him your franchise quarterback. Don't do the smart thing and keep Teddy Bridgewater, who won you 5 games while Drew Brees is out. I mean, please re-sign Tyson Hill and make him your future.
There are some quarterbacks in this draft that could get drafted and may not get drafted. And I think the Falcons at some point may not draft in the top 3. Mm-hmm. But I do sense that they could be thinking about drafting a quarterback at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I would be interested to see if James Morgan had a nice East-West Shrine game. If they could entice him if he doesn't get drafted, which I think he will because he fits all the total bill of an NFL quarterback. Mm-hmm. I don't think he got a Senior Bowl invite, but he played in that East-West Shrine game very well.
Yeah.
Looked very strong throwing the football. And could fit in that Kyle Shanahan offense. I just think it's time for Matt Schaub to.
I think Matt Schaub can
move along.
Yeah, he can go. Matt Schaub needs to polish up his car salesman skills. Go get a dealership named after him in Texas or something.
He can work with Julio Jones.
Yeah, that's right. I'm right. Exactly. I'm willing to let a fifth, sixth round pick compete with Ben Kurt to be our backup. That much is for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here we go. Anthony Wright says, speed up the offense as to have Matt Ryan get rid of the rock quickly. If we do that, expect a lot more screens because that's what Dirk Cutter likes to do.
Ooh, Lord, I just pray for an identity, guys.
Something.
I mean, if it's screens and that's our identity
that's fine.
and we're good at it, let's do it.
I don't care what it is.
We didn't have an identity last year at all.
Yep.
It's like we were just running a lot of plays, seeing what works. Yep. We can't do that in 2020.
No, we can't. Let's see. R2K says, yeah, Cody, the O-line opens up holes for him. I think I may have missed what comment he was commenting on. And then he says, yes, keep all of our picks. Can't afford to trade picks. Not necessarily. Yeah, no, we are definitely not like one player away. You know what I'm saying?
I don't see us trading the farm or giving up the farm for a player. But Thomas Dimitroff, he hasn't gone to draft yet where he has not traded at some point.
Oh yeah, no,
in the draft.
yeah, he's going to trade something.
He's going to do it. Just when, I don't know. I don't see any reason why we would have to be trying to give up the farm for Chase Young, because that to me would be the only reason why I would trade the farm or give up the farm for a player. I truly believe Chase Young is one of those players, man. Everybody said that about Jadeveon Clowney, but I think this guy's much better than Jadeveon Clowney, and he can truly change a game at any given moment.
Yeah.
Now, Michigan did a great job of holding them down.
I'm neutralizing them.
Yeah. But other than that, this dude is a wrecking ball machine.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, he'd be the only player I could see worth, trading you giving up the farm for.
Yeah.
Walter Mess says, does it make you excited for the season that we are finally getting new uniforms? I mean, it makes me excited. It probably makes my wallet not excited, because I'm going to have to buy things.
It definitely excites me. And I definitely will be looking into investing in a jersey. And I'm going to tell you what jersey is going to be.
What you got?
DeMonte Casey.
There you go. There you go. If I buy me a jersey, because I'm a big fella, I'm gonna get me a Grady Jarrett jersey.
Okay.
I'm going to buy me one. And we'll see how that goes. I bought a Matt Ryan jersey, and that thing is very uncomfortable. So it just hangs up now because I'm like, oh, God, it's uncomfortable. But no, but if I buy another one, it'll be a Grady Jarrett. Let's see. Samuel Davis says, Dan Quinn's biggest problem was trying to change the defense to a 3-4. Sometimes DQ experiments with players too much. I agree.
Yeah.
Sometimes he thinks he's smarter, and I think all coaches are that way. I mean, he kind of did that a little bit with KZ.
Yeah.
Tried to move him to nickel. He wasn't nearly as effective there. So Marty Young says, I can see the Saints scandal helping us win the division. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I saw something come up about some kind of email type thing or something to do with the Catholic Church deal. I wasn't reading. I just don't know how much that's going to affect the organization, football wise.
I mean, guys, period. Just like they always say, you don't leave the game in the hands of coaches. We need to take the division.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, it just point blank, simple. Take the division, have a good draft, okay, a great draft. However you go into free agency, we shall see. But I think there are some players in this draft that can contribute on all levels in all rounds of the draft for the Atlanta Falcons.
I think
now,
so.
Of course, you guys know that I am a Rodriguez Blankenship fan.
Oh yeah, now hey, look, if we can pick up, I'm not even a big college fan, but my guys at my office are. But if we can pick up Hot Rod,
yes sir,
towards the end of the round, I'd do it. Sir. Let him compete with Young Wei Koo.
Yes sir.
I think that would make that kicking competition
now, that would
interesting.
be a competition.
I would like to see that.
Yeah. I
know he missed his 43-yarder in the Senior Bowl. But,
well, I mean, he's had some issues, but who hasn't? I mean, that's why they're talking about possibly eliminating that. With field goals.
Oh, yeah. So we'll see.
Which I think will happen at some point.
Let's see. Cody Paul says, we'll be fine on offense with the receivers we have if we get a guard because we could have a top 10 defense and protecting Ryan would be hard to beat. No, yeah. I mean, we've seen time year in, year out, if you can keep Matt Ryan upright, you're good on offense.
Yeah, you're good, man.
And that's the only thing right now that's stopping this offense is, Matt Ryan can't play quarterback from his back. So, and he's not a scrambling quarterback. So you need a good offensive line. That's just point blank.
Yeah.
Let's see. R2K told me to get ready to pay out more money on Falcons gear. Man, y'all don't tell my wife that. She'll be mad. Let's see. Marty Young suggesting that we trade Trufant and a first-round pick to get Chase Young.
I just don't see it happening.
I don't see them taking that, but if they took it, I'd take it. I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Number one, I don't see the Redskins passing them up.
Nope.
Especially when you have a draft class of quarterbacks that they can take and they don't have to take with a second overall pick.
Exactly.
I don't see Chase Young getting past number 2. And in some rankings, he's the number 1 player over Joe Burrow.
Yeah, a lot of them are,
Yeah.
but I don't see the Bengals passing up Joe Burrow.
No. I think right now as it stands, Joe Burrow and Chase Young will come off the
1
board.
and 2.
1 and 2.
Yep. Let's see. Daquan Patton said, "Did you guys touch on Neal yet?" We did. We said that there's a possibility that they may rescind that first round pick, and if they don't, it'd be really interesting to see what they do with Neal. Do they let him play more like of a linebacker type role, which would be interesting.
I think with Kamal Ishmael possibly not coming back to the Falcons, you could see Keanu Neal playing a role there.
Yeah.
What he would fit in that role to me, but we shall see if they rescind the 5th-year option that he has.
That'll be more telling than anything
That's going
else.
to be that's going to be a decision we're probably not going to hear about any rumblings of that until the combine comes around.
Until closer to that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anthony Wright says, with our pick, there is no reason that we shouldn't be able to draft 2 defensive starters with the first and second round picks, with our second rounder being a quarterback or a cornerback. I agree. I mean, we should get. I mean, in my opinion, in the first 3 rounds, you should get 4 starters.
I think that's
and 3 of them should be defensive.
I wouldn't doubt if you see us doing that with 3 defensive players with them first 3 picks.
Yeah,
I would not doubt that at all. I mean, you've given basically Thomas Dimitroff his draft last year and the year before that because he was allowed to go ahead and draft Calvin Ridley, and then he came back in this draft and took 2 offensive linemen. So you pretty much it's your time now to get back on the defensive side of things and go defensive heavy in this draft.
Very much so. Let's see. We're going to take a few more because we're over the hour mark.
Yeah.
So we need to start wrapping this up. But y'all keep it coming because we'll be talking about the draft from now until the draft and even after the draft. So I'm going to grab a few more here. It says Ghost Pepper says, "That's right, JR. This is the main reason why Thomas Dimitroff shouldn't approach the draft like we're 1 pick away. Exactly. He needs to keep them all." Let's see. Anthony Wright's talking about, defensive tackle, defensive end. Y'all can look there. That sounds like pretty straightforward as far as some of the picks there. But Walter Mathis says, coming into the season, Coach Q got a lot on his back to prove that the Legion of Boom wasn't the reason he got a head coaching job, and Kyle wasn't the reason for the Super Bowl. That's true. You're starting to hear that stuff. He needs to start making his own name, so to speak. And last, we'll see. We can't take Neal 5th-year option because he is hurt. It's an automatic guarantee. It's if he gets hurt, it's an automatic guarantee. I don't think it's because he was hurt. I think they can still rescind it, but I'll look into that. I know that is part of the 5th-year option. But anyway, I think that's it for us. We're a little over an hour. As always, you can find me on Twitter. I'm at Grim1128. That's GRIMM1128. If y'all got any questions, I'll every now and again throw out mock drafts and stuff like that on there, so y'all can interact with me there. Toby? And
of course, I'm Toby D, 1991. And hey, like I was saying, y'all, man, support my boy over here, man. He really is wanting and excited about doing these film breakdowns. I know this is something new that we are embarking on, but I think as time goes on, you guys will enjoy that aspect of what we're going to do this season.
Exactly, yeah. So y'all look at those. Like I said, the Javon Kinlaw will be out probably early part of next week, maybe even towards the end of this week, depending on how my week turns out. But as always, we appreciate y'all hanging with us, and I guess it's time to say it.
Hey,
Rise
rise
up.
up.